everyone, welcome to Mitv Primetime News. I am Teresa at DME. President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday, March 12, reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to enhancing maritime security and safety in the Gulf of Guinea. According to a statement issued by a special advisor on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, President Tinubu spoke when he received the special envoy of the President of Equatorial Guinea, Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo, at the State House, Abuja. The Special Presidential Envoy and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Simeon Oyono Esono Angwe, had conveyed a message from President Mbasogo, requesting a state visit by President Tinubu, emphasizing the need to revitalize the Nigeria-Equatorial Guinea Joint Commission. He also emphasized the importance of fostering greater cooperation in various sectors, including oil and gas and trade. Responding, President Tinubu reaffirmed the long-standing bilateral ties between Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea, describing the relations as strong and brotherly. President Tinubu expressed confidence that the formal meetings between the two nations would lead to further strengthening of their relationship. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed Dr. Dayo Mobereola as the new Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency (NIMASA) for a renewable term of 4 years. Mobereola's appointment followed the exit of the former Director General of the agency, Mr. Bashi Jama, whose tenure recently expired. According to a statement issued by a special advisor on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, Tinubu expects Mobereola to come to his new position with his wealth of expertise and experience for implementation of policies and programs of the renewed Hope agenda. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Dr. Dayo Mobereola to serve as the Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, for a renewable term of 4 years. And I quote, Dr. Mobereola holds a PhD and an MSc in Transport Economics from the University of Wales, United Kingdom, is a Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Transport, England, and a Fellow of the same institute in Nigeria. The Senate has suspended Senator Abdul Ningi for 3 months over allegations of 3.7 trillion naira pardon of the 2024 budget. Before Senator Ningi's suspension, the upper legislative chamber was thrown into a chaotic section following deliberations and budget pardon allegations made by the lawmaker. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriation, Solomon Olamileko, who moved the motion that led to the suspension of Senator Ningi, explained that the figure is not contained in the budget because some of the agencies are on first-line charge. However, Senator Ningi, who was given a fair hearing on the floor of the Senate, maintained his position that 3.7 trillion naira could not be accounted for in the 2024 budget. But matters got to a head when Senator Agom Jaribe revealed that dwelling on the issues will not help as all the lawmakers are culpable in the alleged budget pardon scandal. Meanwhile, the Senate leader, Okpayemi Bamidele, accused Senator Ningi of an ulterior motive of plotting a coup against Akpabio's Senate presidency. The Senate leader also claimed that the Bauchi lawmaker action was a fallout of the June 13, 2023 election of the Senate leadership, which produced Akpabio as the Senate president.
We have here, the 2 documents we have here was shared to the 109 senator of the Senate. Contained in this document, under the volume 1, paragraph 2, 3, and 4, is the breakdown of the 28.77 trillion budget that was passed. And from paragraph 7-8 are the breakdown of the budget, which we call the budget details of the entire MDAs. And when you add this figure together, as contained in this document for the entire MDAs, it comes to 25.4 trillion naira. Sir, there are agencies of the government whose budgets and their details are not contained in these 2 documents because they are statutory agencies and their money are on first-line charge. Agencies such as 1, the judiciary. The judiciary budget details is not contained in this document. 2, the National Assembly. The National Assembly budget details is not contained in this document. 3, INEC. The INEC budget details is not contained in this document. 4, UBEC, the Universal Basic Education. The Universal Basic Education budget details is not contained in this document. 6, TED Fund. The TED Fund recurrent and capital is not details is not contained in this budget. 7, the Northeast Development Commission. The breakdown of the Northeast Development Commission details is not contained in this budget. 8, the NDD.
Amend the prayer as moved by Senator Jimoh Ibrahim. I amend that the suspension period be reduced to 6 months. I so move.
Any seconder? Yes, Senator Mbeki.
Thank you, Mr. President. I remain Nkigi Barinada. I represent the people of Rivers Southeast Senatorial District.
I'm back on these issues and coming up with issues of the budget and individual issues concerning what came to our various constituencies. If we want to go into those issues, all of us are culpable. Some senators here, so-called senior senators, got 500 million each. I am a ranking senator, I didn't get. Did I go to the press? Most of you got. And yes, if we want to go into those issues, excuse me, if we want to go into those issues, yes. So I think that Senator Ningi,
Number one, I stand with due respect to say that what my big brother, distinguished Senator Abdul Ningi, who I respect so well, planned to do or set out to do was tantamount to a civilian coup, which has failed. And in doing this, he wanted to use the platform of Northern Senators Forum. God bless all those who have dissociated themselves as members of Northern Senators Forum. I am telling you, sir, and I want Nigerians to know, I say it for history. The last time the people of South-South that you represent had a chance to be Senate President was over 40 years ago. The last time the entire people of the South had a chance to be Senate President was during Obasanjo regime, when he went to the Southeast. 5 people were elected because they were impeached in quick succession. But as soon as he left the South, we had peace and stability again because we will always cooperate. David Mark spent 8 years. Senator Ahmad Lawal spent 4 years. Peaceful 4 years. Saraki, even with all he did, spent 4 years. He was not impeached. It is about Akpabio. It is about the South. You can now understand why Senator Ningi, we want to use the name of Northern Senators Forum, even when most of them did not agree to this. Ben in this chair, we want to do everything possible before the 13th of June to remove you.
The Senate hereby places distinguished Senator Abdul Ningi on suspension in respect of his vituperations, falsehood, and unverified report in the BBC interview, including other media or houses, and is therefore suspended for a period of 3 months from partaking in events in the Senate or being found in the precincts of the National Assembly for the next 3 months. I agreed that where distinguished Senator Abdul Ningi shows remorse in writing through apology to the Senate, that such should be deliberated and decisions should be taken by the Senate if such occurs. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Accordingly, the Senate hereby warns distinguished Senator Ismail Akawu from posting or reposting falsehood or items capable of causing division or breakdown of law and order in the country.
The Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, has inaugurated 3 other committees with the task of upscaling skills development in the country as well as strengthening the force intervention activities. The committee included Committee on Operationalization of Equipment Upgrading Workshops and Laboratories for Universities, Polytechnics and Colleges of Education. The other committee is the Committee on Assessment and Review of TED Fund Centers of Excellence and Committee on Operationalization of Skills Development Special Intervention. Speaking on Tuesday at the inauguration of the committee members in Abuja, the Executive Secretary of TED Fund, Sonny Echono, charged the committees to ensure that the various skills facilities were put to use for effective operations. Correspondent Miriam Enakimian reports that Echono noted that the promotion of skills development was one of the priority areas of government to address the prevailing challenges of youth unemployment and prevalence of poverty in our society. He commended the National Board for Technical Education for making deliberate effort to improve skill development in Nigeria polytechnics by formalizing the informal apprenticeship training through the National Skills Qualification Framework. Echono further explained that the fund made provision under the 2024 intervention for the upgrade of the equipment in workshops and laboratories for universities, polytechnics and College of Education Technical. He charged the committee to assess the present state of skills development programs in polytechnics based on the entrepreneurship and skills development policy of government. He therefore tasked the committee to submit their report within 6 weeks from the day they were constituted for upward development of the country. The Chairman, Committee on Operationalization of Skills Development Special Intervention, Professor Idris Bugaji, commended the fund for investing in skills development, saying that this lies the future of the youths.
To ensuring that we get it right, and we can actually, when we say somebody has proficiency in this area, the person should be able to demonstrate that in the field. And we need to take as many people as possible off our streets. We believe the skills sector is like a whole low-hanging fruit. It's a very short period to train people in skills compared to the regular training that we do in our academic institutions that might take as many as 12 years before you produce a graduate at the end of it. In the skills sector, some will just require 6 months, some maximum 18 months, and they are ready for the market, and in many cases, the demand is already there. So they just go and fill spots, and they create jobs for themselves. If you are training a plumber, a tiler, or an electrician, or a welder, and so on and so forth, you don't need to worry about putting them in government establishments and looking for paid employment. The market is out there for them to use their hands and to create opportunities for others, to spread efficiencies across.
They give you, results that are off, from the mark. So our PhD thesis in Nigeria, many of them are reaching wrong conclusions because of faulty analytical equipment. We need to upgrade those equipment. We need to find a way even to support, if TED Fund can support, the equipment maintenance of those institutions. Otherwise, if you don't maintain them properly, while I was DG of NARIC, a lot of the equipment every year we were inviting people from China to come and zero them down for us, so that our results will be accurate. So there are so many challenges that we not do their work. The third one is centers of excellence. Yes, indeed, centers of excellence for polytechnics. We appreciated the intervention, even though we were given half of what universities were given. But the ES told me it was part of the act.
To ensure compliance with best practices in the recruitment of students, EDVOI, an educational technology platform supporting and enabling international study abroad, has partnered with Nigerian and African agents at an event in Lagos to celebrate the achievement of top agents and foster enduring educational partnerships. And Nigerian Chief Executive Officer and founder of EDVOI, Sadiq Bashir, explained that having seen lots of anomalies and misinformation among institutions, students and agents, EDVOI is poised to prioritize student welfare with the use of technology. According to him, student well-being is at the heart of the activities at EDVOI, noting that clear information is provided by the institution where students are only to input their portfolio and the available institutions. The matched portfolio will be assessed. with the launch of the company's AI best feeds algorithms, which take student academic and financial requirement and matches them with the right university and course requirements. Students can find the right course that suits them so that they do not get upset or rejected. He added that the institution has been promoting compliance and it only takes on transparent partners. And I quote, "But we want to make sure the agents who are part of this ecosystem are compliant and will look out for the student wouldn't do the thing they shouldn't be doing. That's why we are building the old technology ecosystem, which helps the agent in turn help the student." End of quote. Basha noted that
this means fulfillment for me, because I understand the importance of education. Education simply adds value to not just individual lives, but collectively the world. And for me to be here today, I am so impressed, by what EdVoy institution is really doing to make it very easy for especially Nigerians, but not Nigerians, like I heard, different parts of the country, for students to actually, have the interest in studying abroad. So I'm impressed at his good work. I'm impressed at the laudable things he's doing, and of course making it easy for students to really study abroad.
Message to all education agencies is that the first thing really is around being professional. And I think the agent quality framework that's been developed for agents is the first stop to make sure that they can follow those guidelines, those practices, to make sure that they're performing at the highest level in terms of professional standards. And I think for all agents, about one message is to make sure that they go and read the AQF and start implementing that within their agency.
Africa has a lot to offer to the world, and I swear, and I see that the opportunities and the culture and what it can offer, you and I can play that role. The students you're catering, they are the next leaders. How many of the students studying in the Western world are ruling and entrepreneurs and whatnot, right? So those are the elite, or those are the students you are catering to. So let's do with topmost integrity and transparency.
The Ekiti state government has refuted claims that palliative distributed through the local government were done through party affiliation. Ekiti State Commissioner for Local Government Affairs Olorunso Olabode says the 330 million naira given to all local government chairmen so as to cushion the mighty effect of the hardship in the country has been spent judiciously. The commissioner made us know while meeting with all the 38 local council chairmen in Ado Ekiti. Olabode informed that the money was used to purchase rice, which was distributed to the Community Development Committee of each communities across the state. He pointed out that the distribution is not limited to All Progressive Congress APC members alone, saying it goes across all political parties. Some of the local government boards who spoke with journalists explained how the rice were distributed.
There is no basis, I want to be quoted very well. There is no basis why Ekiti should be having full shortage, because our major occupation in Ekiti is agriculture. So if agriculture is the major occupation of average Ekiti person, we want to take agri from the culture to agro-business. That is what we are envisaging, and that is what the government is really working to. The emphasis, and I want to be quoted anywhere, that what was given to our people in Ekiti is devoid of any political affiliation. That is given to indigent people within the society.
The consignment, the pallet, the rice were given to the community leaders, the town unions to distribute. They have a pattern of distribution. So it's not about party. It's not going through party. It's given to the community, to the town unions to distribute it in their own format.
Now this time I think I need to appeal to the market women, the traders and the business owners to please, for the sake of God, to reduce the prices of their commodities in the line with the present administration's and efforts to ease the pains of our people.
An Islamic scholar, Dr. Munuruddin Al-Riyadi is charged Muslim Ummah to inculcate the habit of closeness to Almighty Allah during and after the holy month of Ramadan. He gave the charge in Ikeja at the Ramadan lecture by the Lagos State Ministry of Home Affairs with the theme, Allah will not change the way of a people until they change what is in their heart. Dr. Ariyadi further added that Ramadan is commanded by Allah against every evil. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu urged Muslims and non-Muslims to be truthful in their businesses and also hopeful for the state and Nigeria at large. He assured residents on full sustainability in the coming famine seasons as Lagos State and Niger State put in resources together to reduce the tension amongst residents, while he urged well-meaning residents in the state to lend a hand of giving to their immediate neighbors. The Commissioner for Home Affairs, Olariwaju Layode, urged Lagos State residents to take advantage of the Ramadan period by focusing on positive conduct and more prayer for the nation, Nigeria.
Ramadan has come to teach us good mannerism, humility, that we should have good conduct. Let me translate this hadith, and you concur with me that this Ramadan has come to teach us. Because as Islam said, Ramadan or fasting ordinarily is a protection. Fasting protects you against every evil. Talk of any evils.
Civil servants, you've seen all the creative ideas to reduce the pressure and the tension. So my message is for all of us to continue to love each other, for all of us to continue to bear, each other's burden in one way or the other, because Mr. President is leading from the front for doing that, for ensuring that in the subsequent farming seasons that we're all ready, to be able to get the best out of the opportunity of extensive farming in all of our farming communities in the country.
Also to take maximum advantage of the period by avoiding all those negative conduct that will prevent us from reaping the full benefit of the fasting during Ramadan. I also beseech us to remember our nation and this challenging time through our collective supplication. Almighty Allah will turn our present socio-economic challenge facing us as a nation into national prosperity.
Muslim faithful have been urged to use the Ramadan period to pray for Nigerians to survive the present economic and social challenges. The chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists and New Jersey Lagos Chapter Ramadan Committee, Jamiu Alunge, made the appeal while briefing newsmen on the maiden edition of Ramadan lecture that we hold next week. He said highly revered scholars and spiritual leaders like the National Missioner and Saudi Society of Nigeria, Imam Ahmad Abdulrahman, Dr. Aminat Olawumi Ige Ariyibi, amongst others, are expected to feed souls with spiritual and intellectual diet of a lifetime. He said the programs will feature Quran recitation among public schools in Lagos, with the first, second and third best reciter appreciated with tokens from the union. The chairman and NUJ Lagos State Chapter, Adele Yajai, reiterates that the union recognizes the enormous spiritual opportunities and benefit inherent in the holy month of Ramadan. And that's all we have for you tonight from the local scene. We go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you a report from the foreign scene. Please stay with us. Welcome back. This is Mitv Primetime News. Now to foreign stories. Consumer inflation posted a surprise acceleration in February. U.S. government data showed Tuesday a development likely to nudge policymakers towards a cautious approach as the more went to start interest rate cuts. While price increases have fallen from their peak in 2022, householders are still feeling the pinch from cost of living, adding pressure on President Joe Biden as he tries to win over voters on his economy policies while running for re-election this year. The annual Consumer Price Index CPI came in at 3.2% last month. The Labor Department said Tuesday assigned the stresses may not ease quickly. The core CPI measure, stripping out volatile food and energy prices, edged down slightly to 3.8%, but was still above the 3.7% analysts expected. By the stress that the latest report indicated further progress on lowering inflation, flagging that annual core inflation is the lowest since May 2021. Romania's President Klaus Iohannis on Tuesday announced his candidacy to succeed Jens Stoltenberg as chief of NATO, vowing a renewal of perspective at a crucial time for the alliance. For the past 2 years, the Western Defense Alliance has navigated a challenging security environment in the face of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte is largely believed to be the front-runner to lead the alliance and replace Stoltenberg after the United States, Britain and Germany expressed support for its potential candidacy. Hungary, however, said the country would not support Rutte, who has previously criticized Hungary's government. The Israeli military said Tuesday a soldier believed to be held in Gaza had been killed during Hamas' October 7 attack and his body taken to the Palestinian territory. The military said in a statement that Sergeant Itahan, 19, fell on October 7 and was then kidnapped to the Hamas-ruled Gaza Strip by Palestinian militants. The soldier, a dual Israeli-US national whose surname is also spared Chen, was about 1 year into his military service in the Israeli armored corps when his base near the Gaza border was attacked. His father, Ruby Chen, told reporters in October. U.S. President Joe Biden, who had met Chen's father and brother at the White House in December, expressed his condolences in a statement on Tuesday. During the attack, Palestinian militants seized around 250 hostages, dozens of whom were released during a week-long truce in November. Israel believes about 130 captives remain in Gaza, including 32 presumed dead. And up next is sport-related stories. Please stay with us. Welcome back now. Token Sports. Celta Vigo have sacked manager Rafa Benitez after less than 9 months. Former Liverpool and Chelsea post Benitez, 63, joined the La Liga side on 23rd of June last year and depart after winning. Just 5 of his 28 league matches in charge of Celta, he leaves the club 17th and the Spanish top flight, seated outside of the relegation zone by just 2 points. It was Benitez's first managerial loss since being sacked by Premier League side Everton in January 2022. In 33 games in all competitions, Celta managers now wins 3 of which were against lower division sides in the Copa del Rey. His final game with Celta was a 4-0 defeat to another of his former clubs, Real Madrid, on Sunday. Premier League clubs have been accused of making an empty promise about the new funded deal for the English Football League, EFL. Our meeting between clubs on Monday ended without an agreement on a new deal. Dame Caroline Dana, chair of the Cultural Media and Sports Committee, accused clubs of parking the bus. Premier League clubs were recently told that failure to reach a funding deal with the EFL would mean one being imposed on them. The UK government confirmed the new independent regulator in English football in February. Among its purposes is to ensure a fair distribution of money filters down the English football pyramid from the Premier League. And with that, we draw the curtain on the Primetime News tonight. Many thanks for watching. My name is Teresa Adeyemi. Do have a great night. Good night.